So I thought I'd give you an update on where I'm at with my sketchbooks and introduce you to my picture book character that I've been working on. It's still very early days, I'm still mapping everything out, but I've decided this year I'd really like to get somewhere with my picture book endeavours. So I've dedicated this notebook here, which you might remember from one of my Stationery Pal hauls. So that's where it's from. I'll link them down below. It will be an affiliate link just to let you know, but they've got lots of lovely designs and I just wanted a special notebook for all of my picture book bits and pieces, so I'll leave that there. But I'll just show you where I was at the last time. I even spoke to you all about designing people because I remember it being really daunting for me. There's like a scribble here of somebody that I don't actually remember doing this one, but oh, here we go. So I started studying people and how I wanted to draw people, because animals, I feel like drawing animals comes very naturally to me. It's always the thing that I've gone to the most, drawing all different animals, and as you can see, most of this sketchbook is full of just animals. Yeah, it's what I feel comfortable with, but I've always wanted to be able to draw people, so I made it a bit of a challenge back when was this? I mean, I did these illustrations in 2023, so I've come away since then. As you can see here, oh no, we're going right, let's just keep going back. So I think it starts here. I was actually chatting to Sarah about this last night because we did a co-working night last night and we're both working on a project that's slightly similar, but it's also very different. So we were just bouncing ideas off each other back and forwards, and I remember saying that I really wanted my character to have big eyes, and if I was going to do a mouth I wanted like really full juicy lips, and I was thinking Monster High doll-esque, that kind of thing. But as the illustrations have evolved and I've discovered my style, so as you can see I was drawing mouths over and over again, noses, eyes, I realised that this wasn't what I wanted to do. And I used to study a lot of like manga and anime, and I think I got sucked into that sort of aesthetic. So I just experimented a bit really. I really wanted a nice round face with slightly, you know, chubby cheeks going on, fuller, chubbier cheeks, and I just wrote some notes to myself. And it's good to look back on really and just see how far I've come, because I really wasn't comfortable at all with drawing people. Human studies have never been a strength of mine. So, you know, getting the proportions right and learning, you know, like where the eyes sit, you know, eyes sit level with ears, for example, but then how do you translate that into your own style when it's, you know, more of a illustrative cartoon style as opposed to realism. It's not something that comes naturally to me. So I was practicing around, you know, like body shapes, body types. This is a stick man of just a pose that I tried to do. And then we've gone back to animals where I was comfortable, but then here we are back with people. And yeah, I carried on, and this is, I did some studies of other people's work, so this is my interpretation of a human study from a book by Harry Woodgate. It's called Timid. So I drew it like this and tried to sort of, you know, develop my own style a bit. Here we are again, a few more. I started to save images on Pinterest, like different poses. So that's a pose from Pinterest, different postures and positionings, different angles and perspectives, and it has been really helpful with back to animals again. It's like I go so far and then I'm like, oh, this is really uncomfortable. But yeah, I don't know if there's any more human studies in here, but let's just have a quick one. It's just that one. I don't remember if I've done a full sketchbook tour of this one, but let me know if you'd like one and I can absolutely like chat through like all the pages and things and just show you what's what. But anyway, let's just move that one to one side for a second, because this sketchbook is where the magic has been happening for the past few weeks since the start of the year. And I don't know if you remember, but I mentioned at the start of this year that bringing out new products and things just didn't feel very natural to me right now, and I was feeling a bit like I wanted to hibernate and work on my art a bit more. But obviously with that I've still got to earn an income, and it's really difficult. You've got to earn an income still, but also you can't afford to like just kick back and relax. Like, you need to still work. So I tried to start documenting all of this, and I've been doing a lot of documentations over on Patreon as well. Also, just before we do get into this sort of sketchbook flip through, these are the materials that I have been using for the sketchbook, so nothing fancy. These are my Arteza pencils. They were gifted to me a few years ago, but my favourite pencils are Polychromos by Faber-Castell, but I save those for like my realism. So these are like my doodle sketchbook pencils, and I love them. They really are a great pencil. I've had to actually steal these back from Little Bear because he's stolen all of them. I had a big tin of them, and he found them and he was like, well, these are a bit magical, so I stole these back. But I think these earthy colours are my favourites. Like, I also like sketching in blue, like traditional illustrator sketching blue, and yeah, I like to stick to this palette really. But yeah, I'll show you where I'm at. Let's have a look. Okay, so I started this sketchbook in September 2023. This is my bee illustration that I sketched out. This is now a sticker in my shop, and it's a fully fledged illustration now, which I love. Oh look, I actually have one right here. So this is the illustration that this turned into, and it's now a vinyl sticker in my shop. So this is one of my traveller caravans that I drew. I wanted to turn that into something more, but it just never happened. And then over the last few months I've been just trying to squeeze in some creative sketchbook time as and when I can, amongst when I'm creating with my son. So these things here are things that I've scribbled for my son, and then I've just kept them more for memories more than anything else. But anyway, mushrooms, and then we start to get into my character. So this, everybody, is Livia, Livia, and Livia is my fairy. I've been seeing quite a few different fairy designs recently that I've felt really inspired by, and obviously if you've seen a bit of my work you'll know that there's a lot of whimsy to it and a lot of magic, and I feel really drawn to fairies because of their whimsy, magical nature, and I thought that they would tie in really nicely with also the woodland aesthetics that I tend to lean towards. Now Livia is going to be not like other fairies. She's going to be quite special. There's a bit of a story for Livia that is being developed at the moment, but I once again have been experimenting with what she's going to look like, and I want her to have crazy hair. She's also going to have like leaves and acorns, beads, all different things in her hair. It's going to be really long and just crazy. And I've also been experimenting with hair colours, so I don't know whether to keep her natural or whether to have, you know, like a bit of a colour to her hair. I've been experimenting with wing shapes. The name Livia actually means life, and it symbolises the vitality and freedom that flight represents. So I can't remember where I got this quote from, but it's when I was researching a name for my fairy, I liked the name Livia, and then I realised what it actually meant, and I thought it's even more perfect, and it's a name that I couldn't let go of. So yeah, this is Livia. And yeah, I just thought I'd introduce you to the little lady that's taking up my time behind the scenes, like in the background when I'm not filming, when I'm not, you know, working on my shop and the bigger part of my business. This is who I have been trying to develop. This one here is one of my favourite sketches. She still is in the sketch phase, so she's nowhere near fully fledged. I need to do a lot of work. It's something I will be working on in the background, but it felt a bit strange to be working on this and then not letting you all know like what's been happening in the background and what's been created. This was just messing about with pencils when I felt like I had a bit of art block going on. I felt like a bit flat that day, so I just wanted to mess about. And then this is actually what I did at co-working last night, so I wanted to try and figure out exactly how I wanted her feet and her hands to look. And feet and hands, like a lot of artists, I think we shy away from things like this, or I do anyway. So I just got some, Sarah had some lovely fairy books, and I just took some of the reference images out of that and tried to make them my own, tried to add a little slipper on there to see if I liked the way she was wearing maybe a slipper as opposed to a foot with all of the toes. And then here we've got hands. I'd like to take this pose again and add Livia into this more, so that was just to study the hands, but I've realised that I really like this pose, so I'd like to try that but with Livia in the frame. And yeah, this is what I've been doing. This is Livia, and she's also going to have a friend, and I think I know what animal the friend is going to be, and I think I've got a name for him. I know it's going to be a male, and I know it's going to be a little friend with wings, so I'll leave it at that, and then hopefully I can come back with a bit more in the next vlog once I've had a chance to work on my ideas a bit more and get them all down into my notebook. But yeah, this is my picture book character, and I'm really excited. I'm pushing myself this year probably more than I ever have before, in terms of telling myself, you know, I tell myself far too often I'm not capable of doing such things, I can't do that, I don't know how to do that, but this year I'm like, if we don't know how, let's learn. So if you're here for the journey, thank you so much, and if you'd like to see more of Olivia and more in-depth behind the scenes, she is over on Patreon a lot more in my sketchbook tours and newsletters. Convinced that he thinks he's a cat. He's on my desk. He wanted to come up, and he does this quite a lot. Just wants lifting up, wrapping in a blanket. He just likes to be close. Funny old man. He loves being wrapped up. It's like his favourite thing. So I've done a new badge design. This has been in my brain for a while. I thought I need to do a plant parent one. I think I might update my... I used to have one that said dog parent and cat parent. Maybe I could do some more. Just branch out the badges. If you have a fish parent. But I thought plant parent was quite appropriate for my love of plants right now. I've been building up my collection again after losing some. Due to, not gonna lie, I wasn't as on it with my plant care during the newborn and like early toddler days, and now I'm like back in my plant life again, so hence I've just been using this actually to balance my camera on. But this is my new moss ball from last week. But I feel like this is a bit dark, the background, and you can't fully pick up on the foliage properly, so I'm gonna just lighten it up a bit, lighten the background, and then try again. But I've also filled the page with some bestsellers as well, just because I didn't know how these were going to turn out. In hindsight, I should have just done one row, but I'll see what they look like. Also, I got this jumper on Vinted, and it's a really long line, oversized little job, but it's so cozy. It's so cozy, and I have tucked it in because I'm a short bum. But it's just oversized and oh yes. So where is my cutter? I've got loads of packing peanuts that I'm too stubborn to get rid of because I'm like, oh, I can use those. So this is my cutter. I'm just going to see if the sizing is right, because that's the other thing with making badges, is you've got to get the size right for the space. I'll cut one out because there's no point lightening it up without first making sure the size is right, because I don't want to like change the colour and then print them again but the size still be wrong, because then I'll still be wasting materials. So what I do is, you don't have to use any this is a little bit dusty. That's okay, I'm going to deep clean the studio again this weekend. What I like to know, you don't have to use any of your resources for this or materials. You can just, I'll show you. So if you pop it in the space and then remove this bit, just use this bit. It's like your window to see what it's going to look like. So as you can see, I need to make that a bit smaller. Put it in the light a bit, like that. I need to make it a bit smaller anyway, so that you can really take in the outer foliage, because you lose a bit. You see? So I've not wasted any of my components and blanks by doing that, but I know that I need to make it a bit smaller. So again, I have used some popular designs to fill the page. Well, this one looks like it's going to be much better. Let's get it central. And the colour's a lot better as well. Let's pop it back in here. Ah, marvellous. Can you see? It looks much better now. Perfect. What I'll do is just make one, because I'm trying to build up stock again for a market on the 5th of April. This time I'll be in Birmingham again, so I'm at Blue Moon Market. Oh. And backing. There we go, plant parent. Hello, so I thought I'd end the vlog here because it's now the weekend again, and I'm just a bit conscious if I don't finish it today, I don't know when I will. So I haven't been too busy in the studio over the last couple of weeks because I've actually been doing a lot of house stuff. You'll probably understand, I've just been resealing my bathroom, for example, and doing that with a 3-year-old around is just no fun. So I sacrifice a little bit of work time during the day and then catch up on my work at night time. But when it's night time and he's in bed, it's obviously not very good filming quality around these parts, so that's why you've not seen very much. But I really thought that it would be a cute idea to show you Livia and tell you like what I've been up to and what my plans are. I'd really like in the next few vlogs to share more on Livia and what I'd like to do with her, what her story is going to be. I hope by that point as well that I'll have more of a colour palette for her. But as I say, all of that is already over on Patreon if you'd like to come and join me over there. No pressure, you can leave any time as well. It's all cool beans over there. But yeah, it just dawned on me that we're now in we're halfway through the third month of the year, and I was like, I haven't shown any of my picture book plans, and I think I'm realising that I've very much underestimated just how long this would take. Like a lengthy process. It's probably going to take me a couple of years, but it's one of them where I'm learning as I go as well. So if you are also learning how to make your own picture book, hopefully we can learn stuff from each other. If you have your own channel where you're doing the same thing, I'd very much love to hear from you. Please pop your channels down below. Someone I can recommend for picture book tips and tricks is Emma Carpenter, so I'll link her below as well if you would like some more help. So yeah, I hope you liked Livia. I think she was a little bit shy to come on the channel, but that's going to be Livia all round. I think she's going to be a little bit unsure of herself, but then things are going to happen with Livia, so watch this space.